What is normal? You know? Does anybody ever wonder about what is normal? I don't think anybody's what would be normal. God is normal. We are all, I don't know. I'm old. So really, nobody can put me down. No, no, they can't because I've still got my height in a good athletic body, and I still look good for a 69-year-old, especially from the absolute hell I've been through. Actually, I should look a lot over the way I should look based on what I've been through. I should have tweaks of wrinkles and all kinds of shit based on the crap I've been through, but normal. Oh God, you know. And people all my life when I was younger, you need to quit smoking, smoking causes cancer. I agree, nobody should smoke cigarettes. But that's what I'm talking about. Got to be careful saying smoke these days. Too many fucking potheads and crackheads out there. But, why have so many of them died before me that would tell me that all the time? Two Christian brothers that were Pentecostals way back in the late 1960s. They'd say, Earl, that's a sin. You shouldn't smoke. We're going to live on you. Their names were David and Nathan. Nathan was 2 years younger than me. David was 1 year younger than me. We were teenagers. David had just gotten his car. I was going on my third car, which I still have the other two, older cars. And, they're both dead as mackerel now. They died. Other things can get people. I don't know, shit. And I don't drink, but I know alcoholics, it's like they keep getting stronger or something. But that's not what this topic was about. I was part of what was a comparison in a video. We were on YouTube. I enjoy some of that stuff. And it's the animals that a person looks like. And I came up with something from that's gone on from the time I was a child, even till today. Certain people go with certain automobiles and even pickups. They just go with certain vehicles. And I think that that's actually natural because, we're all connected spiritually, spiritual energy. And when people design cars and body styles to have a certain look from the front, and what a person's going to see from the side and the back, the way the tail light design and all that, their mind is thinking about what impresses them, the look, same as the look we want to see in a person, like what we consider the monarch man, or what we consider the treasure dream woman. And they're going to create cars like that. And you notice they give them the name of different animals, like a Chevrolet Impala, the Mercury Cougar car, and the list goes on. And it goes on with certain fittings like the country squire station wagon, a person that liked the country lot more than likely. But here's I answered a couple of them what animals people look like. I always thought Walter Matthau looked just like a bear standing up on its back legs. And I always thought Buddy Epson, the actor. I always thought he looked like an ostrich. In the face, to me, he looks just like an ostrich. And Buddy Epson always reminded me of a squealing, angry pig. Just the face or whatever. But people also remind me of different cars, and certain cars go with the look of certain people. It can be based on events, things that have happened to us, something that just sets in our minds psychologically how we relate to things or whatever. Because you take the actor Walter Brennan, and sometimes I still watch that old show from, damn, when was that? 1957. It's called The Real McCoys. Walter Brennan belongs in a 1950 to 1954 Ford pickup. Oh man, that would go with him 100%. Okay, and then Elizabeth Montgomery. I remember when I was a boy. I remember when those cars, the 65 Chevrolet Impala came out, the 66 Chevrolet Impala. Those two cars, even though the 67 Impala was similar, no, it didn't have what it needed to go with Liz Montgomery. But I remember 65 and 66 Chevrolet Impala. That front end design, oh man, the first thing that would flash in my mind is Elizabeth Montgomery. You know, and the way she had her nose went up just slightly. I'm not talking about the nose twitching stuff from that sitcom, The Witch. Her nose did tilt upwards slightly. In the 65 Chevrolet Impala, if you look at that dash, it tilts upwards. And it's the way when she'd look up with her face and her nose tilted up slightly. That in the front of the car. Man, that looks just like Elizabeth Montgomery to me. Wow. I almost feel emotion when I see one of those cars, especially the white ones. Oh man, I remember when I was a kid, when I was around 10, they made so damn many of those cars. See, because General Motors was easy to get financing from in the 50s and 60s. Ford, it was harder. Dodge, Plymouth, Chrysler, it was more difficult, but General Motors, it was easy to finance a Chevrolet back then. And a lot of people owned Chevrolets, and that's how the 55 and 56 Chevrolet got so damn popular as a hot rod because they were passed down to people's kids, the boomer generation, my generation. I never liked the 55 or 56 or 57 Chevrolet. It's not my kind of car. But man, they just were there. It's because Chevrolet back then, they had a sales deal and they'll say, we will put a new Chevrolet in any American's driveway. All you need is a job and you don't even need credit. Come on down. We'll put you in a new basic Chevrolet sedan. And they did. Oh God, they did. Because I was raised in the suburbs and I remember, man, full of Chevrolets. Everybody. I mean, I remember it was around 1970. Everybody had a 55 or a 56 Chevrolet parked on the side of their house with junk piled on it. Every kid, see, and it was just there. They'd cut the back fenders out and they would have those things. But yeah, it's people's places, the car that they go with. Oh, okay, let me think here. Well, Walter Brennan, yeah, a 1950 to 54 Ford pickup. Yes, yes. That goes with them 100%. Okay, Sylvester Stallone, your Pontiac Catalina or Bonnet, full size, not a GTO. But your Catalina or Bonneville, the years 64, 65, and 66. Oh, hell yes. Sylvester Stallone, if you ever watch my video, get one of those cars. It will do magic, electromagnetic, because it goes with you, brother. That's not an insult. That's a hell of a good car, man. Let's see. Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields, get you a 66. Let me think. I believe this was a 66 Buick Electra. Some of our neighbors had, they were the well-to-doers, I remember. I was about 9. So let's see, I was born in 56. When I was 9, that was in 64. Might have been a little earlier, but I don't think it was a 64 Buick. No, wasn't that far back. Not that design. I'm thinking this, I must have been 10, because this must have been about a 66 at least. Buick Electra. I remember when I started seeing Brooke Shields, even when she did the Blue Jeans commercials around 1980, I think. The first thing I thought of was that front end design on those cars. They had four headlights. The headlights were horizontal, not vertical like the Pontiacs, but horizontal. And one headlight went out further that was closest to the fender. And then it was slanted at an angle, and the second headlight went inward more. Then the grill went out, and the look. I think that looks like Brooke Shill's face, man. I really do. I really do, man. That car would go with her. I mean, it would just do magic for her. Amazing. And only that particular Buick had that look. I remember. I wished I could had pictures to show y'all on here. But let's see, Peter Falk at Lake Colombo. Absolutely a 1949 Studebaker. Remember, it was pointed in the front, like a torpedo, and it had these eyes that looked like it had bags under the eyes. That's what I always thought. As a kid, I thought they looked scary, like looked like the look of a mean old man from the front. But yeah, the 49 Studebaker. Peter Falk should have a 49 Studebaker. And actually, those are going for a fortune now. They're going for a fortune. They're good cars, they're quality, and they're built good, better than just about any other car. And a lot of them, I think this started in 52, they were using Packard V8 engines in those cars. Okay, so that's nothing to scoff at, I mean, okay, what else? What else? The car that I thought that agreed with me most in my entire lifetime. I remember, and I always liked Cadillac, but in 1977, when they came out with the 1977 Cadillac Coupe de Ville or Sedan de Ville, the side view of those, the front was taller than the back. That's the first year Cadillac ever did that. They improved the looks of those dramatically, drastically. They shortened the quarter panel. They had a look. Oh my God, they had the look. Always thought of that as myself. The first one, and I thought, man, that's like goes with me. It's like clothes that would fit you. And I've owned several. And oh yeah, they went with me 100%. The seats, the way it felt driving them, everything. It went with me. It just worked. It worked. It worked. But that's a car I can identify. Hell, I don't know what kind of car y'all would put me in, but probably whatever y'all people think I go with, I'd probably reject very quickly, you know. But I liked my '67 Mercury Coupe. Oh yeah, I love that car a lot. I loved it a lot. Oh yeah, good, wonderful, wonderful. Oh well, what else? Tom Cruise, the actor. Hell, I don't know anything about him. I don't. I'm not a fan of any actor, movie star, or even singer. If they do good in a particular movie, great. Hey, that's great. You know. And if I love a song, I love a song. But I don't worship actors or singers. That's not me. To me, they're just damn people. You know, they're just people. John Travolta, um, the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Charger. You know, probably the ones that were around 1970, I think. Something like that, because they started making them longer. They had a pretty long hood on them, you know. But the Dodge Charger definitely would go with him. Who else? Who we got in the list? Elizabeth Taylor, 199%. The 1968 Mercury Monterey or Mercury Montclair, the 1968 one. That would go with her 100%. It would look natural if she ever drove one. Well, if she was still living. Oh man, what else? What else? Who else is in this list of my wild imagination? I don't care. You know, I don't care if people think I'm crazy. Because you know what? I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm not scared to think. I'm not scared to put myself out here and say what I feel and what I thought. Think. You know, even as a child, I used to look at men and women and say, hey, you need to get this kind of car. That's what you would look good in. I would tell people that. And most people, their reaction would be, I don't like those cars. Yeah, people never like what's good for them, right? You say this person would be good for you to marry. No, no. But instead, they want some a-hole, some deadbeat freak or some whore, right? Isn't that the averages? Oh, man. Um, Now, they got it right in the show Leave It to Beaver when they showed it was in one of the first few episodes of it. A lot of you may not remember, but Ward Cleaver did drive a 1957 Ford Fairlane. He did a 1957 Ford Fairlane. That goes with Hugh Butler. That's definitely him. He belongs in that car. Another actor that belongs in that car is Robert Mitchum. And that's another car I always like to look at, the 57 Ford sedan. I always like the look of those. And I own one of them too. Oh God help me. But who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I'm trying to think today. I don't know why I do that. I don't know how to sing, but I'll do that when I'm alone working on my vehicles or whatever. I'll be, it's a beautiful day. We're so glad to see you. I don't know why I do that. I think I'd make a good comedian to make people laugh. You know, I think I'd be good for that. You know? I'm not a clown though, because I'm very, very intelligent. You know, well, most people they think a comedian is an idiot. They don't realize a comedian has a higher intelligence than the average because they know how to make people laugh. They know how to entertain people. And how do you think their minds can think up all these things that you don't think about? It's because they're more damned intelligent, man. They're not idiots, you know? Okay, what else? What else? What else? I'm doing that too much, saying what else? What else? What else? What else? Aaron Moore, that played Joni Cunningham on Happy Days. Here's a car that looks just like her face when she's smiling. Got pictures of her smiling. The 1975 Chevrolet Caprice. The 75 Chevrolet Caprice. That goes with Aaron Morin's face 100%. And then Brooke Shields, the 66 Buick Electra goes with her. Oh, God. I've been this way since I was a child, but I've made it to be 69 and I've done very well for myself and I'm happy. And I actually won in 4 divorces. How about that? The houses, cars, money, everything, everything. Because I know how to think. I know how to think. And I'm the type, so I will talk to people. See, I would talk to lawyers. I wasn't afraid to talk to people or whatever. Well, it's like my videos. Things I talk about, people would be, man, that I would never say that to be. Why? Why is everybody so scared of each other, man? Okay, if I think that you're a car instead of a human, what difference does it make? Oh boy. Oh God. What else? What else? What else? It's a beautiful day. I'm just being normal. I'm just being normal. I think if people that watch this, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it can help people. It can tell you, be expressive, be yourself. Don't try to please other people just to appease them to act a certain way. That's a bunch of crapola. Be yourself, be who you are. As long as you're not a harm to yourself or others. My family, both sides, they were messed up. They died horrible deaths. They messed up, you know, but they always told me, you're not normal. You need help. Well, how come I'm 69 today, did better than them, and the awful crap hasn't happened to me that well, there you go. Oh boy. Yeah. Making a video without a shirt. Oh, I'm so skinny. I used to have a lot of meat on me. I wasn't fat, but I had a lot of meat on me. I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. It probably doesn't matter because if you have more meat on you, you just have more skin that sags when you get old like me. Okay, I can't think of any more. Let's see. Liz Montgomery, 65 or 66 Chevrolet, white preferably car. Okay. Brooke Shield, 66 or 67 Buick Electra. Okay. Aaron Warren, 75 Capri Chevrolet. Walter Brennan, 50 to 54 Ford pickup. Hugh Beaumont, 57 Ford sedan. And 57 Ford sedan for, who was that actor? Robert Mitchell. Yeah, Robert Mitchell. Okay, who else? Who else? Who else? Hell, I probably forgot somebody. Because at the end of all my videos, like the one I made yesterday about the battery tender I put on my car battery, it extends to where I can plug it into the back of the battery tender when it's here at the house. I didn't think to show people with, you might have seen my voltmeter, multimeter sitting on this little white table. It was a red color to show them how that my battery, instead of being at 12.5 like other people's good battery, mine was setting at 13.60 volts. Yeah, that's right. When you use the battery, they will set between 13.15 and 13.65 voltage when the green light's on, when they're fully charged. And I forgot to tell people, if the red light just stays on and is solid, as long as you've got over 12.9 volts, well, if you're using one of those after the first day, don't worry if it never turns green, because what it means is having to constantly override something else that's drawing energy from your battery. And it's not going to hurt the battery tender, okay? As long as you maintain at least 13 volts, if you've got one set, whether it's a motorcycle or a car at a 12 volt, don't worry if it just stays on the red light. It doesn't matter, okay? But anyway, hope y'all are all having a great day or whatever. Sorry you had to hear me choke and cough, and all that stuff. And all that good stuff with the cherry on top. Da 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 da.